Alright, for the love of God, I can finally do a video between camera screwing up and my bird dog trying to chase me. I can finally get something done here. Okay, suspension test. I'm going to take it for a ride around the mountain here. Racetech Adventure Fork Springs Top Gun White Spring 7.4 kilograms. The rear spring is set preload number 3, rebound 0 turns out. I set it there after my initial ride. It was a little soft on number 1. I am bare naked, around 204 pounds. You can add for gear 10-15 pounds on top of that. So I'm going to hop on this thing now that I have no dog running behind me and following me, and hopefully the camera is functioning correctly. If anybody from GoPro ever watches this video, please design an easier microphone setup so that you can just plug a freaking microphone into the GoPro instead of having to get an adapter. Now, let's rip. Okay, we're on little pebbles here, like 1.5 inch diameter. Actually taking those pretty good. Here we got a 12-inch little diversion ditch. Ate it up good. It's not deflecting off of the small rocks here. Ditch. Ate it up. Much better than stock. Okay. Got a little hip-de-doo hill climb here. Pop it up. Good. Off of here. Not bad. Ate it up better than stock. Now, one thing I will say, this bike, I mentioned in the install video after everything was done that it is up in the air. Initially I said probably 1 inch, but I'm going to say I think this bike, as far as the skid plate off of the ground with nobody on it, is at, I'm going to say right at about 1.5 inches higher than stock. I could flat foot this bike in its stock form, even with the preload cranked up some. And now I'm on the balls of my feet, kind of out on my toes. There, everybody, dirt there. And the suspension, to me, I didn't really complain a lot about the stock suspension until you started to push the limits and you were hitting larger routes or going off those diversions that are 15 to 20 inches high. With my weight, it would bottom out off of those, and I just went off of them and it did really well. It did not bottom. It absorbed them. I'm gonna try to find a somewhat rocky trail here. Got a pretty harsh ditch right here, and there it handled that well, but it did still. Diversion, good. Diversion, whoa, about nuts. That ditch right there, that would bottom out the stock fork springs for sure. There it held up. Little dough. What I do want to mention too, on the front spring install video, I had said 10 inches of preload. I don't know if that is correct. Basically what I did is I put the spring in, it has the stock spacer in it, plus I cut the PVC spacer which they supply from Racetech. It was basically, with the bike up off of the or should I say, yeah, with the bike up off, the suspension relaxed, I had 10 millimeters of PVC on it when I did the 10 millimeters above the fork tubes. But to be sure, do some searching and pull up my video on the front spring installation. Okay, we're hitting a little rocky section here, tree limb, a little slush right there. There's still a lot of leaves on this trail, but it is covered in rocks. So we'll see how we do here. Pretty good. A little bit of deflection, took a stick to the eyeball. Still going, but okay, another stick that'll rip my face off. Freaking trail needs trimmed. Not bad. I mean, probably slightly more deflection than stock, because stock you're very soft. God dang it, how many hits to the head can I take? But still, for me, very controllable, and I hit a lot of rocks right there that were basically 3 to 4 inches on the face, and it didn't bottom out, and it actually ate them up. And hopefully the microphone plug is still in this godforsaken GoPro and not popped out, so that half my video has no sound. Because it makes me so happy when I do a whole video and go to edit it, and there's no freaking sound because you hit a tree and it pulled out the 3.5 millimeter adapter, because GoPro can't figure out a way to make it so much simpler. I've had this on the street right after the initial installation, and to me, on the street, it does, for my weight, kind of make the bike feel a little more stable and planted when you're on the twisties and kind of leading it into turns. It just is a very, I love this grass. You have all kind of gnarly stuff hiding in this fresh early summer grass. It can just take you out and make you bust your freaking face and blow your shoulder out. Oh, especially this. Look at this. You can't see what's lurking down in that grass. But I definitely prefer, I rode it hard in the factory suspension, and like I said, the factory suspension is not terrible. It's the best of all 3 generations so far, and this is a big improvement. I mean, it's nothing. You still aren't going to take this out and do the Dakar rally with it, with this suspension setup. But to me, this setup for the faster, more intense off-road riding it's definitely better to me. Oh, I missed my freaking turn. Well, time to find some single track. Now this single track too, I will mention, I mean, I'm literally putting here. And I do not have stock gearing. I mean, I'm not touching the clutch. I'm just creeping through on this single track. The gearing I have on this is awesome for stuff like this and just creeping through. Oh, just about ripped the rear brake pedal off. Okay, let's take the downward route. Let's make a left somewhere here. There you go. Suspension is working good on these little twisties in the woods on the single track. And even at me, at 5'10", I do prefer to be flat-footed on something like this when I'm riding hard in the woods. I may possibly put the seat from the 24 or the 2023S on it, just so I can get back to having a confident flat foot off-road. But this doesn't bother me too much. I'm gonna rip my freaking microphone out again. Oh, that was unexpected. Okay, I'm gonna turn around here. This doesn't look like much of a hill to you on the GoPro, but it is a pretty significant hill climb with some whoop-de-doos in it. Gonna see if it'll lead up the whoop-de-doos. Here we go. Whoop-de, whoop-de, yeah. Woo. Wow. That was like a bucking bronco, but it ate it up much better. I've been up at the stock and could not even hold a straight line. I would basically go, it would throw me across the other side of the hill climb. So, improvement on that also. Definitely love this suspension setup right here for Monster Energy from someone for off-road and riding a little more intense. Tree. Squirrel, look at him go. Squirrel busting off some single track here in the evening. Lots of roots here on these trails. And that's what I mean, the front suspension is not, it's definitely stiffer, but it's not harsh like a motocross bike setup where when you hit a small rock or a root, you feel that harsh whack. It still is absorbing everything well, but it is stiffer. I just came down here, but see if I can take it straight up through here. Chris Birch style. I'm going to start hanging out with Chris Birch on his 890. This doesn't even go this way, so bear with me if I fall over. A little boondocking. For any guys interested in the exhaust on this, this is a Delcovic 14-inch stainless, and have you noticed, if anybody's been paying attention, there was no backfire on D-cell pop or anything with that. Now look at that. Somebody cut a tree down. It's not supposed to be up here on this property. Awesome. Okay, so there you go. 2022 KLR650 suspension. For me, awesome. I definitely give that suspension setup a thumbs up. I'm not a suspension pro, not a guru. I am just an average everyday guy that put the springs in, rides the bike hard. And could it be much better with somebody tuning it and know what's going on? Absolutely. Is this awesome for me in the way I ride compared to stock? Yes. Definitely less bottoming resistance for sure, and you get the extra ground clearance, which I love. And like I said, I may throw a factory Kawasaki S model seat on it to get my feet back flat-footed for any awkward situations off-road. That's what I prefer to be, is flat-footed. So, like, subscribe, get on your big fat cowie, and get outside. See ya.